Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome. I looked up and there it was 3:30. I just bent down to make another note in the catalog. Hello, Rose and Shirley. Welcome. Thank you for being here. I'm always excited to know what I'm going to make too, Rose. I'm usually flying by the seat of my pants here on Monday afternoon, and it just always seems to turn out, and that's the best I can do. So anyway, welcome to September. It was September last week for Labor Day weekend, or just following Labor Day, but it's now September mini catalog time. So let me switch you here. And you've seen the cover of this for several weeks, but now you get to see the inside. If you don't already have one, please let me know. The more I look through it, the more I like it. It kind of had to grow on me a little bit. So let me know what you think. Leave comments. And this is where I'm going to be today, in the Nests of Winter. And actually, I did use this a while back because this was something I could pre-order back in May, June, I forget when it was. No, it wasn't May, because that's when the new catalog went live. Probably July, maybe, or June. Anyway, we could order this for one of our online events. So I have used it, and now I'm bringing it back again. So I'm not going to take a lot of time today to go through the catalog, but I just want to point out one other area that Stampin' Up! Has continued following along with these sketches. And here they're on page 16. And when you look at these, some of them are for tags, but you could turn those tags into a full card if you like. So I'm excited to get started on these too. So whenever I get to them, I'm not sure. So I have not done any of these yet, but they're just so much fun as a jumping off point for inspiration and little templates. So you can go with them as you can. So let's go back, what was that, page 31 is the Nests of Winter suite, but it includes the Winterly Treetops bundle, stamp set and dies, and a wonderful embossing folder called Birchwood that I'm going to use today. I've got everything ready to go. Down here is the beautiful paper, so you can see where that birch, maybe I can zoom in on this a little bit, where that birch comes in and goes so well with that embossing folder. We've got some twine, some embellishments that I think I have. I can't find them right now, so I'm not going to use any of those today. The dies are great because they do match some of the paper here. So let's get started. Put that away, and let's see, maybe I will see how that goes. Move that out of the way. Ooh, what's that? Guess I didn't clean that off. Okay. All right. So this is today's card sketch, and I screenshotted this and then printed it off. Now my zoom part has gone away. But anyway, it's number 5 in the catalog. So we have a card base. Hold on a minute here. Let's take that away for a minute. and zoom back out a little bit. Okay. All right, I messed it up. Hold on. Let's get rid of that and just do, let's just do this. So anyway, we have a card base that is your basic 5.5, 4 1/4. Hello, Gloria, welcome. A banner, and I'm using a die cut for that, and I'll show you that in a minute. Another piece of your cardstock, and on these, at least these two, I'm not going to give any dimensions because you might want to change these out a little bit and just use this as a basic layout. In fact, on a couple of my samples that I will show you at the end, I didn't even have this. I just made another sentiment on this part. So this is one that just jump off, explore, and make it what you want it to be. So that's that. Don't know what happened to my zoom there because I'm zoomed in, so we'll see where we go. There we go. It was when I have my picture in there that I have a problem getting the zoom part working. All right, so here's the card pieces that I have for today. And I'm using a color that I haven't used very often. It's gray granite. It's grayish, but it's got a brownish tone to it. And it's not like smoky slate. That's a little bit different. I didn't bring a sample of that over here, but this is gray granite. Oh, wait. I think this is smoky slate. That's what picked up the smoky slate. Is that right? Nope, that's gray granite. Sorry. This is gray granite. I have a piece of basic white to go on the inside. And I think I got my colors mixed up. Let me hold on here 1 second. I picked the wrong thing. This is the gray granite. This is smoky slate that I'm using for my card base. Sorry about that. And then this is a piece of the designer paper. And I guess I picked this because I knew I was going to cover the whole thing up. And you can't really see this on here, but I have run this through that new embossing folder, and wait till you see it. It's awesome. It's called Birchwood, and it is huge. It is really big. So it will hold a 6 by 6 across. And let's see, I don't think I've ever measured it going down. It's 8.5 inches long. So you could put a full piece of cardstock in there that is 6 by 8.5. So that's pretty amazing. But I have already run this through. And I just thought that would give a lot of good texture to the designer paper. And you can't really see it, but you can feel it. And it looks really, really nice. Really nice. These are the dies. There are 9 of them in the bundle. And this is the stamp set. So even though it could be a Christmas card, there's nothing in here that indicates it's Christmas. It is winter, but you definitely could pick up a sentiment that would say Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, something about the new year, and make it something a little bit more than this. But otherwise, this could go all the way through winter for birthdays, thanks, thinking of you. And then this, I've not used yet, is a full background. So I need to get something made with that. It's gorgeous with some of the samples that I've seen. And then this is the twine that goes with this. I'm not using any of those colors today, so I'm not going to be using that. Guess we have Night of Navy. That looks like copper clay and garden green, I think. So let's put those aside. So I have this to go on the inside, so let's take care of that first. So tell me what's going on with your week. And we went from summer to fall, basically summer to winter. So this is a great stamp set for this, because I don't have it on now, but I had the furnace on in my house. It was that cold. And I do have family visiting from Florida, so they are cold, just being in Ohio. And but it did get chilly enough to turn that furnace back on. Okay, so we've got that on the inside. Let's put this on the out. And I've made this a full 5.5 by 4 1/4, so it will cover up the full card base front. And when I have texture on here, I like to use the liquid glue. So here you can see what the back of this is. Kind of looks like dandelions in the winter. I'm not really sure, but that's a pretty design as well. Sure I get this going in the right direction. And when I cut this, I did need to make sure that I had the direction going for the card base that is a top fold. So this is 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5.5. And that way with the liquid glue, I've got a little bit of wiggle room to make sure that I get my corners set and everything's going the right way. All right, so here I have cut out 2 banners from, this is the largest banner in the Nested Essentials dies. And I want to point out something with this catalog, if you've not noticed. If you look in the back at the index and you look for all of the dies, it's not like we had in last year's catalog, sadly. But if you look for, where were all the dies? Nested Essentials. Saw it earlier. Oh, here, the dies are here. I need to put my glasses on. Nested Essentials are on page 103. However, when you look on page 103, you're really not going to see all the dies that are available in this set. It just shows it up here at the top, Nested Essential dies, and you see these little corner rounded ones here. Unless I'm missing something, I don't see too much else. However, this is kind of the kicker, and it's probably not at what I would call the best feature, but if you ever want to see anything fully, is where you can go online and look at it. And I know that's not the best for everybody, but everything is shown in the online store, or my online store too. So this just shows a partial of it. And I guess that's one of the my negatives of this catalog, is that you can't see all of the dies in one place. I have my own theory about why that is, but I think it has to do a little bit with how other companies pirate some of the things, but you didn't hear that from me. So anyway, these are the Nested Essentials. It's a great basic shapes set of dies, and that's where you have all of these. So I've used this largest banner die. I cut out 2 of them, and that's this one. It actually measures about 2 1/4, and if you count down here, maybe about 3 1/4, or where it actually cuts up, maybe a little bit more, like 3 1/8. But if you don't have the dies, you can cut your own banner, and that's very easy to do, which I'll show you in a little bit. All right, so now we have this done, and now we're just going to take this and our basic template, had this at an angle. Now I did one where I cut this little bit back here off, but because I'm going to use dimensionals, I'm just going to leave it like this. And you can kind of put those together and see where they're going to go so that they'll match up. And it was at an angle, but they don't have to be. You can do what you want. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this one down. Put that where I want it at the bottom. And then line this up so I know where it will be at the top, about how much space I want up there too. Okay, there we go. Now I have a piece of basic white, and let's grab a different ruler here. This is 3 1/2 by 2 3/4. So 3 1/2 by 2 3/4. So I want to position this. So I see a couple of these little birds here. I don't want to cover them up. And I'm going to take, where did it go? My brown blending brush. Let me see how much ink might be on there. There's some on here. I'm going to use my early espresso. I don't know what I would do without early espresso. It is definitely my favorite brown. So let's put that there. And one of the nice things about this glass mat is that I can just get my edges on card pieces by just pulling off on that. It just like butter. It's so nice. And I can pull some of that off of there. And then easily wipe that off so it doesn't get on everything else. All right, so now that's going to go here. And I have pre-die cut with one of the dies and the designer paper to go on here. And this has this little edge here. So I'm going to align that with the edge of that piece of cardstock here. But I can move it up a little bit. Okay, so I'm just going to use liquid glue on this and not put any glue. I'm not going to put any glue on their heads. So that will stick up a little bit. And just put glue down in here. Okay, that's a head there, so I don't want to go up there. I'll do what I said not to do. And then I think I will add dimensionals to that. Oops, let's get that glare out of the way from my light up ahead. Okay, trying to stay in the screen here. Okay, so that looks good there. So their little heads are not glued down. So that also gives it a little bit more dimension. So now I'm going to add dimensions to the back of this. And pop that down. And then this is from Stylish Shapes. And I just keep some things already cut out. So this is what I'm using for, I think it's Stylish Shapes, because I just kind of had this handy. But it's got the stitching around it. And I'm going to stamp from the stamp set. It says, thinking of you always. I'm going to leave always off of there. And I know that thinking of you will fit. So you need something to omit the always. And what I found that works for me, now I've got glue on my hands, is for these smaller words, a small piece of tear and tape. I need my glasses on for this. You might think, oh, that's expensive to use the tear and tape. However, you get so much of this, and it really does stick on there. I found it much, much better than using a Post-it note. So I need to get this up so I can see it. So it sticks to it. It's not going to fall off until I take it off, where the sticky on a Post-it note just wasn't working for me. And then you end up getting a shadow from that word below. Okay, so now, that's called omitting. Now I can stamp that whole stamp here and know that I'm just getting to thinking of you, and I can pull that off. I'm just going to stick it right there for now, but I am going to wipe that off a little bit. And then stamp thinking of you and not even worry about the extra word. Okay, so there you can see nothing shows below, and it's good to go. Now, I'm not sure if I had stuck that maybe on my glass mat, if I perhaps could have used that again. That's very possible. I am not sure. I would have to check that out. Okay, so now I'm going to, this is the third piece, excuse me, the third piece of our template. And I'm going to add dimensionals to that too. So covered the bird's tail up just a little bit, but I think that's okay. Okay, now I'm going to take a little bit of Wink of Stella and give a little bit of a sparkle to those berries. And don't know if you can see it here. But it's definitely visible here. And it really adds a lot to a card. And then I also like to take a bone folder and tap on this and I've got some sparkle on my card. I think this one's about empty, so I'm not seeing as much, but that does help too. All right, one more little thing, and I have some opaque faceted gems. And we've got a little bit of pool party here, so I'm going to use these pool party ones. And where did it go? Okay. thought I had my take a pick tool right there, but I didn't. Okay. And let's just put a third one right over there. And maybe a large one. Or two down here. So there we go. That is sketch number 5. So let me show you a few other samples that I made. This one was the first one. What is the name of the brown ink I used? Early Espresso Rose. It's a rich, deep, dark, just like you would be drinking espresso. Okay, this was the first one that I did this morning. And I did not put this one through the embossing folder, and I wish I had, but I was not thinking at the moment. So it's very similar to this one. But this just shows a little bit more white. So they're alike, but not alike. Because here I left off the extra piece. Here I stamped it right on there. And it's your card. You can do what you want to with it. So here's that one. Here's this one. Here is another one with a little bit busier designer paper. And then I ran this one through the new large plaid embossing folder that is also in the mini catalog. And again, just did the thanks without putting an extra piece on there, which I could have. I just, if something just doesn't look like it doesn't work, don't do it. And we've got some sequins going here, and then that same die cut. Just did a little bit different layout. So we've got this at the bottom. And then the last one that I did and played around with, I really went out and did not do the full banner part. I didn't angle it. It was this piece of designer paper, and I didn't want to put a banner at this part at the bottom. So I did the banner at the top. This is one of those where you cut it in half and then you get that for your card base. So I made that the banner, cut a little bit off the bottom, a little bit off the top, but I wanted to preserve having that bird up there. And then just a piece of designer paper here. I'm not sure which one that one is. I've got all kinds of pieces, parts here. Okay, I don't know which one that is, but anyway, it looks like it has little bird prints on there. And then another one from the nesting or the nested essentials. So, and this was the exposed brick back here. So the same, but all different. So that's what I have for you today. And I will be back again next week with sketch number 6 and see where I can go from there. So have a great rest of the week. It's supposed to warm up here a lot. We'll go back to summer. And I think by Wednesday or Thursday, it's going to be back into the maybe upper 80s. So, you know, we never know here living in Ohio. But it's a great place to live. So take care, have a great rest of the week, and I will see you then. And happy stamping. Be creative. Bye-bye.